Assalamualaikum. Ramadan Mubarak. I'm just doing a quick garden update. Yes, I have my seedlings going and everything like that, but this update is about the viral method seed snails. It's safe to say that I will be doing this again next year. So these tomatoes were started from seed. These are Amish paste tomatoes and a dwarf variety called Gourmandaise. I think that's how you pronounce it, from Beaker Creek. These tomatoes were started a little over a month ago, almost 2 months. And look how big they are. Look how established they are. And these are heirloom tomatoes. I don't usually grow heirloom tomatoes anymore, except for Cherokee Purple, only because they don't do good in my climate as far as production. But I wanted to give these a try and they look so good. These are my early tomatoes. So I did a few tomatoes, for early harvest, let's say early June, late June, and starting next week I'm going to sow my main crop tomatoes. But look at these tomatoes. I just watered them last night. I've been fertilizing them weekly with Miracle-Gro because I am not using fish fertilizer inside my home because that stinks. But I am just so impressed. If I would have started these in cell packs or in seedling trays or cups, they would not be this big. In my experience, they have never been this big and healthy and vigorous in just 2 months, almost 2 months. And let me show you the roots. The roots are not too bad yet because I did pot them up, and potting up seedlings in seed snails is just unrolling, adding more soil. So I did add more soil, and yeah, we don't have any root boundness yet. So yeah, I'm very excited about these. Now let me show you the peppers. Here is one pepper seed snail roll. You know, this is Scotch bonnets, yellow Scotch bonnets, and look how vigorous they are. These were started much earlier because Scotch bonnets take a long time to germinate. Started these, I think, the end of December, and look at them now. They do have a little bit of burns from the light because they grew so quickly. They reached the top of my grow light, and so they got a little leaf burn. And then I had to get another shelf so that they can have some more inches to grow. These definitely won't be going out until Mother's Day or after Mother's Day. So I don't know what I'm gonna do when they grow out of control. They're already out of control. I don't want to top these peppers because I want to see what the difference is. But if they get too out of control, I may have to top them. But look how vigorous they are. This is 5 plants. And it's also not root bound. And I am going to add more soil pretty soon because I don't like how it's leaning. But yeah, but look at the roots showing through. Next, I'm going to show you my hibiscus, also known as Roselle. So here is Roselle. This is hibiscus, like the tea that you drink. And I am super satisfied with the results. This is 6 plants. I don't know if I want to plant all 6, but this is 6 plants. And I started these the same time that I started tomatoes. So this is about 2 months of growth from seed. I scarified the seeds and they germinated within a week. They're not root bound yet either. And these also won't be going out until there's no threat of frost, because this is a tropical plant. I'm just so impressed. So impressed with these seed snail rolls. I just watered them. These also have light damage because they got so much growth so quickly that they were hitting the light. So there's a little bit of yellowing and burns. I also fertilize these with Miracle Grow once every 2 weeks since they got their first true leaves. The premise of seed snails is not the fast growth, it's the fact that your seedling is getting root trained. So it's just like when you finally put your seedling outdoors in your garden bed or in ground, that seedling gets big because it's spreading its roots down, searching for nutrients. And so this is how a seed snail behaves. The roots grow downward and outward, so you get more vigorous growth like you would if you were setting a plant outdoors, in ground or in a raised bed, instead of being root bound inside of a pot or a cell pack or a cup. You know, it can work in a cup, but only if it's a tall cup, because that's the premise of root training. You have to have a lot of space for the roots to grow downward and around, instead of just a small, like a 3 or 4 inch pot where it gets root bound and it just goes all the way. It stops at the bottom and goes all the way around each other. Next, I'm going to show you my Pequeño peppers. So here is the Pequeño peppers. And Pequeño peppers are naturally short plants. They do have a lot of peppers on them, but they're naturally short plants, and they do take a long time to get established, so they're not as big as the Scotch bonnets. These were also started the same time as those tomatoes, but they are doing phenomenal. Some of them are shorter because of how I had them under the light. Now that I've adjusted them and moved the bigger peppers like the Scotch bonnet and the hibiscus and the kale, now that I separated them and moved them and gave them some more space for airflow, Pequeño has a good space under the light to itself. Excuse all that dirt. Plant just fell. But yeah. This is the best one of the best seed starting seasons I've ever had, and the most success I've had. These plants look so healthy. I'm just impressed. I'll do another update when I'm closer to planting everything out. And lastly, I'm going to show you my kale and my collards. And here are my collards and kale. I started these the same time I started the tomatoes, and look how vigorous they are. These could actually go out pretty soon under cover if I wanted to. These could definitely go out under cover, but I'm not going to put them out yet I've never had kale and collards look this vigorous. This is 2 kale plants and 1 collard plant. I don't eat collards, but I do eat kale. I only grew the collards for the people who like to eat it. And 1 plant should be enough. But I do love kale, so I grew me 2 kales. But look how vigorous it is. I could actually clip these leaves off and eat them. This is a little bigger than baby kale. Look how the stems look. Look how established the stems are. I am so impressed by this seed method, and I will be doing this every year. And one thing about the seed method, it is super simple and super hands off. I enjoy it much more, and it's much less stressful than starting in cell packs or seedling trays or cups. This is great for anyone who has a busy lifestyle and they want to garden, they're low on space, for whatever reason, they have stress in their life and they're trying to find the least complicated way to get their seedling started and taken care of. This is the method for you.